Okay, let's get started. So far we have seen simple linear framework. Okay, we have set up the driver and seen simple linear framework example, one with Google and two with QA tools, which has wide variety of objects. And we have also seen exports, how to construct simple exports and complex exports. And we have seen different types of by classes: ID, CSS selector, link, text, everything. So today we will see more of modularized framework. So how to modularize using basically what is modularize? Modularize means, so linear framework means basically all in one class. All in one class. So we subdivide them or categorize them into different modules or packages. That would be modularized package. So basically this will have infrastructure module, objects module, and utils module, etc. So we'll see more of this. Okay, and we'll combine these with data driven and all other that will be hybrid driven. So we have created the modules. So we have seen two examples in the linear framework. One is Selenium 2 Google example, Google test, that's what I call it. That is, let's have this name in the test class so that we know what it is exactly. And one is Selenium Tools QA. So let's have this linear framework. Or we can create a package linear framework and put it in that. So whichever way is possible. Okay, so when you open the class, okay, just to associate this with, open the class in the package view. So just enable this button, left and right arrow, so that it will show what you open in the project. Okay, let it open. While it opens, I'll explain the. So we will also enable infra level functions. Okay, reusable functions of infra level. So what it means by infrastructure level? So far we have been interacting with different objects in application, web application especially, that will involve different categories, right? What are those categories? Infrastructure to interact with different objects. So what are these objects? Yeah, anybody tell me? Text box, radio button, on home toolbars and label and tables also. We will see more of tables today. And anything else? Okay, so more. So basically, okay, so we will see the example of this in Selenium 2 tools QA test. So let me just explain same thing, then we'll continue with this. So on the last class, don't worry about this, I created newly this and added few more framework level code so that I can easily explain to you. Alright, so first initially we created the WebDriver instance and then got the URL, then synchronized. Okay, so because it takes time to launch and load the page completely, we have to wait certain time, so hence we have used implicit wait. Okay, now we can have either static wait or implicit wait or dynamic wait. I'll explain about these three things. Then we maximize the browser using the driver.manage.window.maximize. Then we started interacting with each and every object in the web page. So first we encountered is a link. So that has big link text, so we can use partial link text. So example I took is by.partial link text and I just entered partial because that is the only keyword, only word for partial available. If there are multiple links with partial word inside it, then you cannot click. So it will be very difficult. You will get ambiguous exception. And synchronization. So again I waited. This is called static wait. So whereas this is called implicit wait. Driver.manage.timeouts.implicitly wait. And this is a max timeout in seconds. I can mention the time unit in seconds or minutes or days, whichever. So I mentioned seconds, and 50 is the max timeout, right? So that it won't, it will wait maximum 50 seconds, but it will also cut down the time of waiting if it could find this whatever element we is supposed to be found. So here we are entering the dot get, so it will basically wait until the whole application is loaded. So okay, so until then we clicked on link text, so this navigates to another page. So I waited again 10 seconds, and then there was a web table. So now we will see this web table today. Okay, so I'll just comment this portion and execute and go and explain there. All right. Okay, so once we go to that page, we'll find the table. And what I did in order to get back to the page is, okay, it's just like clicking the back button of the browser. So I can do that using driver.navigate.back. Okay, so if I go to any other page, you can get back using this. So there are different functions available: driver.navigate.refresh or forward or to. Okay, so I'll just briefly explain about those navigations. Driver dot Okay, navigate is method again. It has multiple options. So dev.navigate.to, okay, or URL or string, these both act as driver.get similar way. So if I enter URL here, any URL, okay, so this will take me to that URL. This is a bag. This is to launch, just like get. So either use get or to, both are same. We used get driver.get and mention the URL. This will open the browser and launch the URL, right? But in between, in the middle of the code, you want to go to different URL. So then the best route would be to use driver.navigate.to. So, and you can always again driver.navigate.to to the your desired URL or back using, and different driver.navigate dot, let's see, forward. Okay, so for example, you're going back and forth here, right? So once you go forth, this will also be enabled. It's like forward is clicking on this button, back is clicking on this button. To is like here I'm in the middle of something and I can enter another URL. All right, okay, so that's like that. And dot get means opening a new window altogether. So it will open new window and enter the URL differently. Okay, so another is, you can know, another option is, what is the other option in the browser page? Navigate dot refresh. Okay, so what does it mean by refresh? Refresh is reload the same page. So that will be useful when you are trying to bring forth some dynamic content or something which is not displayed yet and which is only displayed upon refreshing page. So that is like hitting this button, reload this page. So that also you can do using refresh. Okay, so since we are going, after clicking the link, it will go to the web table page, and after capturing those web table elements and doing some interactions with them, we have to get back. So I can use appropriate function dot back. So I'll just comment these out, and you can try with various options like this. So that will be hands-on for you. Okay, so then I'm printing logging also simultaneously. After doing some action, I'm logging immediately, so which is a good practice. So do the action and immediately sys out. Also, we going forward, we'll use reusable concept of logging using, you can also use log4j, or we can use custom log methods, utils. Okay, and then synchronize. So synchronization is good idea now and then. Use the implicit wait instead of static wait, like thread.sleep. Okay, so then I'll explain to you about actions also a little bit, but we will use whenever we have to. So since you have asked how to use actions, so actions is a separate class. Okay, so and in order to use the methods in the class, you have to instantiate, right? So the way to instantiate is actions instance name equal to new actions, and like I said, this constructor can be default or parameterized, and in this case we are using parameterized constructor. Okay, because that's how it is, action, and it takes a driver as instance. So we find the element XPath which you want to move to and hover on like this. Okay, so only when we find such element, for example, you move to this and it will open some kind of pop-up like this. Okay, then move to that, then move to this, and right click on something. Okay, so all these options like this can be performed using the actions. So in order to find them, in order to do them, you have to find the XPath first, and then that will return the web element and pass actions dot move to element, that is a function, and pass this web element to it. So there are multiple methods in actions, so one of which is move to element. Then I want to context click. So move to element is literally moving like this, it will move and stay there. And I want to right click. Okay, so that would be context click. And then click, I want to click or double click. I just entered all the options, so we have to use them appropriately. And finally we have to build all these actions. All right, then perform. So dot build and dot perform should be the last lines of code. Then it will do all at them once. It will move, right click, and do something, move to the context menu somewhere and click on it, and finally it will do. So these multiple actions are only possible using the actions. Okay, so that is just for the this thing, theoretical, but we will see when the web page has such elements like dynamic content, so that we can. Okay, then text boxes interacted with Radiobuttons regularly, and this which is same as driver.findElement by XPath. All you have to change is the method name. Send keys will interact with text boxes. You have to enter the what you want to enter into text box. And similarly, radio button, you just apply the dot click. And then text box, then checkboxes also same thing. Driver.findElement by XPath. You enter the XPath of the checkbox and dot click. Method would be dot click. Okay, and then we have come across the upload element, right? Okay, so the upload on the day we have not finished, so I will show you this one also. We can do this operation using multiple ways, one of which is robot or actions also, or wget or auto it or exec runtime, which is also method just like using command prompt. Okay, so most preferred way is to use robo. Okay, so otherwise you have to, I mean, actions is not appropriate in this case because you have to go to that, and which is very cumbersome. Wget involves another third-party installation. Auto it also, you need to install auto it software. Okay, and command prompt, you have to know what commands you want to run. Okay, we will see those when appropriately used. So I will use robo, and first I need to click on this brown button. Okay, so let me show you on the page so that you know what I'm talking about. That one would be QA tools, right? Okay, I'll open here. Okay, I collected some to practice. These are the different sites to practice. Okay, so I opened them right here. One of which is new toaster demo. We will see this on, and other is automation practice. This is another site. This is like various dummy shopping. Okay, so just go and click. So this will be useful. Actions will be useful when we want to move, and suddenly add to cart is enabled, move to this, and click like this. Okay, so another is demo QA. And another is ultimate QA. This is a different site, so I will tell some, you can practice some. This has some of these interactions element. Once we click, we'll go inside, and Ajax elements can be found in this good site. So we will also try. Yeah. So this is a simple page where you can enter something, but it has Ajax. So, and this is most popular way, and because this is just like our QA, it has different elements, drag and drop and file upload and everything, but not in the same page. You have to click on that link and go inside to interact with them. Okay, like context menu. So actions I'll show you in this one. So this is a good site. We will see this. And PHP travels. This is like a dummy traveling site, traveling. So we will use this. Okay, we have to go inside in order to operate upon them. Okay, so one more, the last example we were seeing is this one, demo QA. Whatever. Okay, so far the link text will take us to the table page, so that we will see. So before that, okay, so this is the one uploading. So what we have to do is first we click on this. So you find the XPath, which is here. I'll just expand this, maximize this so that you can see the whole code. Okay, so I'll explain. So this takes little time to load because it has some ads. That's what they put, all the ads to support this site. Okay, so this XPath you find, this is just like an object. So manually I'll show you. First you click on this symbol, then it goes to this dialog or pop-up, whatever. Okay, so once it opens dialog, you cannot interact with these elements using XPath because this is nothing to do with your page. This is the Windows thing. Okay, so you cannot open Control-Shift-I and find the XPath. No, that is not possible. So in order to interact with these, what I have to do is either I have to use Robo or AutoIT or Wgator. Okay, so I'll use Robo. So my Robo is a class. Okay, it's a part of Java. So I'll use Robo to type go here and type something using the keyboard, literally the path of this C : like this. Okay, and go to the file.extension. Okay, then simply enter or click on the open. We can also do this take tab and then click on this, so that will select the tab. So all we have to know is where the file resides, and which we will know the path of the file, so that we don't have to literally click on this. Then like manually what we will do, right? We don't have to go to this and we will select this. So that's not the case. We will actually type the whole path in here. That is the technique to using the automate this upload function, and then open. So that will open. So that's what we are going to do here, and that will say whatever file is uploaded here, and that operation is set to be completed. Okay, so first I fixed the file path. Okay, my file path is this: C users Sangha pictures. I have this PNG file, GoToMeeting. Okay, then if I had to see what characters I can enter, so I created a util which I will show you, that will take care of most of the characters, but colon needs actually, in order to type colon you have to press shift and semicolon, right? So I segregated this part separately, so I cut down actually this separately, and this is the second part of file path. Okay, only till here. So I'll manage this separately because this involves semicolon, which is shift and everything. Okay, the reason why I'm entering double slash is because I told you if you enter a single slash, it will throw error because it's you have to escape it. So this is like a keyword. So when you hover over it, it will show what kind of error you will get. Invalid escape sequence. Okay, so in order to use any of this, you have to use backslash. So I am using the last one. See, I'm using, if I want to use hash this quote, single quote within the quotes, then I have to use backslash quote, backslash double quote, backslash r, backslash f. Okay, so backslash r refers to carriage return. So backslash n refers to new line, bold, tab, backslash t refers to tab, all these things. So these are reserved. So likewise, if I want to use backslash in the quotes, I have to use one more backslash. So then the error will be gone. So that is called escape character. Backslash is the escape character. So that's why you see double double. Or if you wanna use single only, use one forward slash. Okay. Either way. So this is equivalent to 2 double slashes. Okay, I already mentioned this. So this equals to this. Okay, so for the timing we will use only backslashes because you will get confused. Okay. Now I have created robot is a class. Okay, so in order to use the functions in it, I have to instantiate it again. So robot is equal to new robot, and in order to use your keyboard literally, okay, using robot, I have two methods, key press and key release. Okay, so when you actually type something on the keyboard, what would you do? You actually press that key. Like if I am typing let's say U, I have to press the key U and release it, right? That's two actions in one go. You press and you press with your finger and you lift your finger. Okay, that will actually type you like this. So I did two things at the same time. So exactly I had to mimic the same situation here using robot. Key press and key release. So this will type one at a time. Okay, so I'll quickly show this. Key press and key release. So this will click tab button. Okay, or if I want to enter like U, okay, I have to use key press. Key event is a class inside it. Okay, so this has different key events for different keys on the keyboard. So I can enter whatever I want to press. Like VK represents virtual key underscore, then that particular key on the keyboard. So for example, I want to type U, right? So literally there is a option for U. Then same thing, U. So these two lines will actually press this U. Okay. Now you might ask me if I want to type capital U. Okay. So what would you do manually? You manually actually, this equals to Shift plus U, right? So you press Shift and U, or you actually press caps lock and U. That is also so. But you have to exactly replicate this on the in Java. So you press Shift and U. So what I would do is, in order to do this, I have to press Shift first. Robot dot press and key code is key event. Okay, it's actually integer, but key event dot vk underscore. Okay, all these things are available. See, vk underscore 0 to 9, and then cut, paste, cancel. Every possible action on the keyboard is available. You can enter, escape, and including the functions F1 to F12 and number pad and alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, all these things. Okay. Now there are some actions which need multiple actions, like press key or sticky keys kind of thing. So this involves Shift, So I will use the same thing, vk underscore shift, then u, then I pressed shift and pressed u. Okay, so I did not release any of them. Then once it is done, I will release. Okay, so this will be key release actually. Key press is done, right? Then key release. Key release u, then release event dot vk underscore shift. Okay, so these 4 lines actually type this u, just to type u on anywhere, like on the dialog box that we open, or you can also print on any notepad. If I open notepad, it will start typing here, so it doesn't care what is open. So whatever is open, it will start typing. So that is a thing with Robo. So since once I open this and open this, right, automatically, then it will be presented with this box. So and the cursor control will automatically be in here. So it will start typing here, the Robo. Okay, so there is no problem. So we'll do the same thing. So these 4 lines will just to type u, and similarly I just want to press enter, right? So I just pressed enter here. So I'll remove this. Okay. Now you might ask where I am typing all this, right? Okay. So because if I keep on using robo.keeptest, it will like take like 100 lines. So what I created is a reusable function for it, the utility function. Okay, I'll show you in a moment. So this is a file path. I had to enter the whole path. Okay, for that I created a keyboard utils already and created key underscore any function, and then I can type whole string instead of character by character. I can type whole string. So this will take a loop in all the characters in a for loop kind of thing. Okay, so since I said I will take these C and colon separately, I created key underscore any, which I just enter vk underscore c. It will automatically press and release. Okay, inside. So typing this drive letter C, just to this, and just for this colon I created a separate function also because it involves shift and colon. I created key underscore colon that will type this one, and remaining everything else I'm passing to type string, so which will be this one. So all these 3 combined, it will type the whole thing, this file path one. Okay, I created a util for this keyboard utils. So this is a part Hello, can you hear me now? Okay, I guess I closed this window and automatically disconnected. So let's keep this open. I close all these other windows. Okay, so you can hear me now, right? Okay, so I was explaining this last example only with upload, how to automate this upload using the robot. So let's execute this. So it is taking little time to load all this. Okay, no space. So until this stops, it will try to load. It couldn't find. So it's still trying to do this. Okay, so finally throw the exception. So let's see what is the exception. Okay, driver.get, yeah. So because it couldn't load the page completely. So let's try this again. Why it is throwing? Let's okay, reload. Okay. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, ask me because it will take time to load. I don't have any option. Until it loads.
Yes, I have one question. Why we use the robot command? Which purpose we use the robot command? This is an information.
Robot, right? Yeah, okay, wait. It is okay. It actually responded. Okay, wait a second. I'll answer your question later. Okay. Now execution started because that was probably building some caching. Okay. So first I'll answer your question momentarily. Okay. Once it reaches that page where it loads, browse, and enters the auth. Okay, now what it is doing is it clicked on the link and it is trying to go to that new page where the table is present, web table, right? Okay. Now it went there. Okay, this was the table when you clicked on the partial link and then navigate back. So all this we will see in the page, the console, the logs will be printed in the console so that we will know what went during the execution successfully or unsuccessfully. Okay, so again it will load. Okay, loaded. Now it will move on with entering all this. Okay, now watch. This is where the robo comes into picture. Okay, so it clicked on the profile picture. Now it went there. Now robo is executing, typing all this. Okay, so you see this. This is nothing to do with XPath. Now it uploaded the file. Go to meeting. You can see there, and downloaded, and then all the rest of the operations are done, and then finally get text. Okay, now let's see. Let's see the console. Okay, so finally it was trying to the button actually reloads the same page. So again it is doing. So I did not I commented only the post goes to the table and captures the table. So we will see the table interaction in a moment. So now it actually went there, selected the combo box, clicked on the button. So clicked on the button actually is done. Now it is reloading. Then it will log the clicking button action. So these things are done. When it reloads, everything is reset, right? Now the reload is taking a lot of time. Every time it has to wait until these ads are loaded completely. These ads are. Okay, so anyway, our action is done. It is okay, captured text, that's it. Okay, now it will close the browser finally. Okay, execution is done. So this is where we are using robot to answer your question. Yeah, so you already saw it opened the pop-up box, correct? When you browse something, upload the file. So this action needs the robo. So just to enter what the path of the file, I have to use the robot. So robot is a new class, like I told you. It has key press and key release functions, which takes what key you want to press. So I have certain keys here, right? So I actually created some utilities, keyboard utilities, which takes care of typing the string. But
that time we use the different path also, and then you declare the file path also, and then extension is png. I use this command like that.
Okay, let me show you that. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, so I want to upload this file, right?
Yeah, this is the screenshot.
Yeah, it is just file, some file. It doesn't matter.
Okay. This one is the file, and this is the which directory is that way.
Correct,
you
yeah.
Okay.
Right. So the part of this file is this C users and pictures / gotomeeting.png, right? It doesn't matter what file you want. Just put this file path here.
Yeah, I understand this one too. And then that time I use the variable declare is below 2 lines.
Right. You can declare a variable of string type and then store this in. Now I have to enter this in the dialog box. Dialog box is not related to this browser. When it opens the dialog box, you cannot find the XPath for it. So hence I have to use the robot. So now you understand why the robot, right? Robot is to interact with non-browser objects. So what is a non-browser object? In this case, the load dialog, right? The pop-up. You can also interact with pop-ups. Pop-up will open, right? So that is not related to browser. You have to use, you can use multiple options. This is one of the option, Robo. So like I said, you can use, where is it? Yeah, here. I mentioned somewhere. Okay, so to upload, I can use robot, or actions are different purpose. Wget is you have to install something. Auto IT you have to install like third party, executable file, and execute runtime. So I use robot. So robot is just remember that robot is to interact with non-browser elements such as this. Okay. Now that is one done. Now we will actually go to the web table, which is also important. So most of the cases we will have to interact with the web table. So what happens here is once you click on link, it will actually take us to web table. Okay, so now let me uncomment this and explain to you. It is very simple if you pay attention. So I actually captured all the web table elements, cell content, okay, then print it to console. And you can also interact with if they have links and everything. Okay, so I have created few reusable functions for this in the infra level. So I'll show you here operations. So I will show you more on this. Okay, so in order to interact with different elements, instead of calling them, instead of writing this whole thing driver dot find element by XPath and everything like we did here, right? If I want to enter something to text box, what I have to do, driver dot find element by XPath, then pass the XPath and then send key Selenium. This whole line every time I have to repeat. Instead, I can create a reusable function for it and just call that function. Okay, so hence the reusability comes into picture. I'll just explain few of them. So the reusable functions are I put them in the operations class. The class name is operation. You can call it anything, infrastructure dot class or whatever. So click link, let's say. Okay, click link is a method, and this will take WebDriver and XPath as of arguments. Okay, so you definitely need driver, and for this particular click link you need XPath locator. Okay, now I want to click on this. What I have to do normally, driver dot find element by XPath and pass the XPath which I am passing and dot click. Okay, so the XPath would look like this, any of the XPath which will pass from the runtime wherever you're calling. Okay, and that's it. So since I am expecting some exceptions, so I'll put this in a try catch block. All right, so try catch, try this, if any exception, catch this here. Okay, e dot print stack trace, or I can throw that exception also. And immediately I'm logging this. So whatever I'm doing action, I'm logging using system.out.println. Okay, instead of repeating that system.out.println, I created another log, which is log OK. This is another reusable function which does the same thing. I put this in a reusable function. So this is the main concept of reusability or keyword driven approach. This is all modularization, segregated them into different folders or packages. Okay, these are reusability concept. So every time instead of writing system.out.println and passing this, I created a function for it, and I'll just pass the message whatever I want to print to console. Simple. Okay, so in this case I also added date timestamp to mention in the logs what time the action is performed, so that everybody knows, later also developer also knows, or tester also knows what time this action has been performed. Okay, so I just use the concatenation operator whether the action is okay or not and what is the message. So clearly this is how a developer would log his action. So we would use the same standard. Okay, for date utilist I have created one more function, timestamp. So current timestamp at which the action has occurred. So the date utilities will take care of this. There are a lot of date utility functions I created, so I'll explain later. So this takes local date time. Okay, so local date time class has function called now. This would return, that would return the current timestamp, whatever the current timestamp is, December 22nd, 2018, including the hours, minutes, seconds to the milliseconds. So it would be very precise. And then I converted this to my own format. Date time formatter will enable me to do the test for pattern, and I want this format mmdyy. So it would be like 12, 22, 18, then hours 10, 11, 41, 22, then 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever milliseconds. Okay, you can change this in which manner you want to. If you want YY format, I can enter, but if it's not, I just wanted to keep it short. Then print this date time. Okay, so then return this whole string, date string, so that I can use it in wherever I want. So I exactly used it in log OK here. Okay, now I can get back to where I was using this back button, just like browsers. Okay, so click link. So this is where I use log OK. And catch, again I'm printing something related to the system.out.println. That log is not OK. Okay, so this will print me. OK means the successfully executed. This not OK means not successfully executed because of some XPath issue. Mostly XPath was wrong or changed or something. Okay, similarly I created another some more reusable functions. Click link and set text is another one. This one is used for settings text. Actually will set text, enter text in Xbox, the given XPath locator. So same thing, driver.findElement by XPath, first clear that, and then driver.findElement by XPath, then send case. Whatever is I want to enter, I am entering here. So this function will take 3 arguments. One is driver, one is XPath locator, one is test data to enter. Okay, then I am also logging this. Okay, so I put different conditions. If it contains @ do something. Okay, then you can ignore all this. So these are all set text by ID if I want to just use ID. I'll go to the main functions and explain. So then comes the click radio button. Radio button is same thing. If I want to click the radio button, I'll just call this function click radio button, and this will take driver and XPath locator. That's it. So same line that we have used, driver.findElement by XPath dot click. Okay, if that click is successful, it will log this one, click radio button is successful. Otherwise click not OK. So the OK not OK is already mentioned in this one, so I don't have to worry about this. This will mention OK. If it is not OK, it will print not OK, so that immediately by looking at the logs we will know is OK or not OK, what the exception was. So then checkbox, same operation. Okay, but this will click on checkbox. It will take driver and XPath locator as arguments, and then same thing, driver.findElement by XPath. Whatever XPath I pass, it will take and click on that. Okay, so XPath will look like this. So just for example, I put it here, but we will pass the actual XPath of that checkbox here. And then this is what I'm printing, system.out. Click checkbox and this. Okay, either I can call log or directly print. Any exception, it will throw the exception here. Okay, then drop down, right? So select drop down. So select drop down involves what? So this is select drop down. There are some printing mistakes. Okay, so first instantiate the selector. Don't worry about this commented line. I'll remove them. Oh, no, some of those are very cumbersome. Select is equal to new select, and I am passing the whole web element here, right here, instead of creating separately. Okay, so this will take whole web element that can be returned by driver.findElement by XPath, and this will take the XPath locator. Okay, this whole thing is a web element. Okay, so the XPath is passed as an argument. Then wait for some time, second, and using the select, I can select by value or select by visible text. So let's use the select by visible text instead of value, because visible text is more accurate. Then log. Okay, if selection is successful, log okay, otherwise throw the exception. Okay, select by index is also there. So I created the overloaded function which will take index 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so maximum will be using this one instead of that. And one more is get text. Get text is for capturing the text. So same thing. I create driver.findElement by XPath get text method. This will return me a text. So I am storing this in a string. Okay. Since I have to return it, I am putting string return type as string, and I'll just simply return this. Convert this object text to string. So this will return me object text, right? So whenever I want to convert something to string, the function is dot to string. So this will return me string. Okay, so these are some of the reusable operations. Okay, there are more, but we will momentarily use whenever we need them. Okay, come back to our example. Now,
it looks like complicated.
It is complicated because reusability, I mean module resolution is complicated, but only from the coding perspective. Once you are okay with that, once you get used to it, it will be easier. So the more you practice, the more easier it will become.
So I think it's better to call this operation first, then start like testing. So it's better like
Yeah, correct.
you're
Yeah,
gonna
we
just
will convert this
input
to,
all the operation like and then implement it to your test cases.
right. So this is for beginners. So the linear approach, we will convert this test case to modularized, and I'll show you how to call them and use them. Same test case. Okay. So same test case, I would keep it as is by renaming it as underscore linear methodology, linear framework, and then we will copy this and convert all this. Instead of driver.findElement click, we will call this just click link and how to use the reusability. I will show you in the different example that I call as same thing underscore modularized or modularized framework. Okay, then we will convert it to something else. So same test case we'll show, and we will take different sites as an example. So you will get used to it. Okay, so I just want to show you how to interact with the table. Okay, same thing. Table is also an object which has its own XPath. So all we have to find is their XPaths. Okay, so each cell has in the table has different XPath because a table has a T body, table row, and table data. Okay, the whole table has T body, table row, and table data. Okay, so I'll just show you here. Once you click on link text, we will come to this portion. So what I'll do is instead of using wait, I'll actually use thread.sleep to remain there for certain time so that I can explain. So let's wait for 50 seconds. All right. Then I'll show you. So meanwhile, it will capture this. Okay. So my get widget text is nothing but get text only. Similar to this. So don't worry. It's a reusable operation. Reusable operation I have used. Okay. So just like this. Driver.findElement by XPath. I am passing the XPath and get text. So it will return me string. I'm storing this in here and printing this to console. So similarly, table also has column cells, rows and columns and cells. So what I'm doing is I'm just capturing the text, right? So I created a reusable function for that one. So this will actually interact with more of a repeatable like table text. Okay. So I created the string builder for it, and iterating over the web elements, because table has multiple web elements. Okay, all the cells, if it has 20 cells, all those are called web elements because all of them have unique XPaths. So I am iterating over those element by element. Okay, so iterator dot has next moves to the next one, just like it acts as a for loop. Okay, for loop but on the iterator. So I'll just show you. When you actually use normal for loop, you can mention for I integer I is equal to j, integer I is equal to 0, I less than so and so, I plus plus, right? So likewise you can also use iterate over array, okay, or iterate over collection, or iterate over an array. Okay, so normally we will use this one, right? So the one I am trying to use is different syntax. Okay, you see on the left side, yeah. So this is the one I'm using. So you can also iterate over an iterator using iterator dot next. Okay, so different. This is normal regular for loop that we have used. Integer I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to so and so, max value I plus plus. Same thing. So iteration, if you have any iterator like the one I have, I'm using this iterator. Okay, so I'll delete this. Okay, so list actually enables me to give me the list of web elements. Okay, so because the table has multiple web elements, I'm using the list. So you can use list of array, list of strings, list of whatever. So list angular bracket web element will give me the list of whole elements. So how I am getting the list? Using driver.find elements, because not just one element, it has multiple elements. So I am using find elements. So when you press driver dot, it will show you two options, find element and find elements. So far we have been using find element. So if I want to capture all the elements, okay, then use the find elements by XPath. Okay, main table XPath. Now that will give me the list of web elements for each cell, different web elements. So I'm storing it in a web, not web element, but list of web elements. Because since list of web elements has multiple web elements, in order to use the for loop, I have to use the iterator, the other syntax that just now I showed you. Okay, so same thing. If you just select the syntax, it will just fill this gap for you. And all I have to use this, pause this iterator dot next, and typecast to web element. It's not a string, it's not an integer, so it's a web element. You typecast it, and then get text from each, and simply printing this text to here. I'm just appending to string builder because I have multiple web elements. I'm just using the append function so that I can print all of them here. Okay, so it will print nicely using this OK widget dot text XPath variable equals to this cell 1, cell 2, cell 3 all will be printed line by line. If something goes wrong, I can catch this exception saying not OK. Okay, NOK means not OK. OK means everything fine. So that immediately visibly we can do this. Okay, so finally returning the whole string, SB string builder dot to string. String builder actually appends everything together. So finally I'm written. Okay, let's use this. This is similar to get text. Don't worry. So get text is for single get text. This is for single get text. Object driver dot find element by XPath get text, right? And I am returning this string. So far we have already seen get text for the last one, text one. But if you want to get text from multiple, use the get widget text. Okay, so that's what I've been doing by mentioning different XPaths. Okay, so let's go in. And finally what I'm doing is I'm capturing those and putting in matrix kind of thing, just like we have seen two for loops in the Java class where we have to print the multiplication table, right? Wherever it involves row and column, we have to use two for loops. And here I'm just storing them in a table data ij. Okay, by getting this. Okay, I just what is it, generalize this this thing column number and row number. Okay, and finally I'm printing separately, okay, using two for loops. This is similar to this, but just to have how to show. But since I have already included sysout here, log, which is a sysout, okay, I don't have to do this. Just to show you guys how do we print a table, I created this again. So otherwise this will take care of everything. It will capture the text and store it in a string, also print to the console the data whatever we captured. So all these three things at a time, so we don't need to do all this. Just for the beginning purpose, I created two for loops and store them in a array of 2 dimensions here. Okay, this is a max size 10. You can also put 100, doesn't matter, but max size is 10. Okay, so let's re-execute them. So what it will do is it will click on this link and wait for 50 seconds so that we can watch what's going on. Okay, what I'll do is instead of 50 seconds, I'll increase it to 120 seconds, 2 minutes. Oh, 120 seconds, right? Yeah, 120,000. So that will be milliseconds. So this will wait for 2 minutes. By meantime, we can investigate on how do we get XPaths. Okay, then it will execute and capture the text. Okay, let's try and rerun this. So first thing we have seen is how to upload and download, then how to interact with table now. So this will most likely complete like 90% of how do you interact with commonly found objects in the web page. There are some other like frames and everything, which we will discuss later. But for now, these are the basic elements. Then what we do is we'll modularize them. That's it. We're more focused on framework level coding. So the main coding is done to understand how do you interact with different elements on the web page. Then we will move on. How do you convert this? Basically, it's a conversion process to more, suit for your framework needs. So we'll focus more on framework level. Okay, let's watch and see. Okay, so now it will wait for 2 minutes. So meanwhile, we will investigate how to interact with this table. So the whole table is kind of object, but this has multiple objects, sub objects inside it, cells, right? So this is a table. This is a table row, all right? And this is the table data. So that's why every XPath has all these things. So let's find out to capture this. We have to find the XPath for this one. To click on this, again, this is in the cell of table. Here to click, find the XPath first. So if you find the XPath of 1 and generalize, you can generalize actually. Okay, it would be easier. What is, you can easily say this is row 1, row 2, column 1, column 2. Okay, so this is in like row 1, column 2. Okay, row 2, column 2, row 2, column 3, row 2, column 4. Okay, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7. So 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, like this. You can easily generalize. So let's inspect this. So you can actually do this runtime. You just wait for a certain time and then you can investigate XPath. Okay, let's try to capture UAE, which is a country name. Control F. You can see all this table structure, right? So table is the topmost. See, as in when I hover, table is selected and table has T body. Okay, without involving this header, that would be called T body. Then T body has table row. That's the second row. Okay, This says table data UAE. So exactly we want to capture this. So how do you find XPath? Starting with table. Okay, that will select the whole table. Now then you mention the T body. So T body slash T row. Okay. So T row is in short TR. Okay. TR slash TD. Okay. Alright, but this has 124 matches. So which TR you have to tell? Okay. So TR number 2. Actually moved back because we are past 120 seconds, so we could have waited more, but I'll show you again, don't worry. Okay, so let's get back to this. I'll stop this because just wanted to see the table data, and this is successfully captured here. So I captured everything using the appropriate or valid XPaths. So the first element UAE exists in this table T body TR1. I was just about to enter this and it was over. And table data 1. So the Dubai was in table row 1 but table data 2. Okay. So likewise I can capture all these elements just by mentioning the appropriate XPath. And finally getText also works the same way. Then the matrix, 2 for loops actually displayed them in a matrix style, 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so that just for display purpose. Otherwise same things I did two times using getWidgetText and getText similarly separately. This is using iterator, remember, all at once. This is separately getText. I got the text separately for each cell and I printed all in a matrix fashion. Okay, let's go there and see again manually because the execution is over. I can take you there. So the link text take me to the table. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, table is the topmost element. Okay, as far as my relative path is concerned. So I'm not starting from HTML. So just from table. I want to capture UAE. Once you find XPath for one, it's easier to find XPath for other cells because it's just changing the row number and row table row number, table data number. Okay, so table T body. Now this is a row 1 in the table data. Table body. This is a row 1. This is actually table data's table body 0 because it's a header, and this is a footer. Okay, so you have to exclude header and footer, and whatever is inside that is called table body. So table has table body, and table body has certain rows 1 2 3 4. Okay, so I want to capture or interact with the element from table row 1. So table row takes row number also. Okay, now which table data is like column, table row is like a row, table data is like column. Okay, so what column I want to enter? Again, this is a left side, so this doesn't come under. So this is table data 1. Okay, this you can say table. If you want to capture the Burj Khalifa, it would be table data 0, TD 0. So the first column will always be 0. Oh, sorry, table row. This doesn't come under table. Okay, so we are only capturing from here table data 1. Could be 1. So let's see where this Burj Khalifa is. Okay, it's actually table header, not even table data. So table header has Burj Khalifa. So if you want to capture Burj Khalifa, just go for TH. Okay, so that's the table header one, and I'm only interested in this UAE, so let's use table data 1. Okay, so this would be my XPath, one-of-one match, and I can use this XPath here. Let me just print it over here and let's just match. Okay, I also just included the parent of table just in case if it does not show me one-of-one match, in case something goes wrong, some additions are needed. Okay, tables parent is immediately go from arrow to arrow, not this one. This is actually sibling. If it is on the same level, it is a table sibling, so like brother or sister. Okay, so from here to here, this would be the parent div and its ID is content. So just to make sure, I also entered the parent div ID content, which has table and tbody and tr. So here I don't have to put double slash. I can put single slash also because it's immediate parent. There is no in between, right? But double slash will be more generic. So you can, double slash means it could be immediate or it could be distant relative. Okay, so just to make sure, I entered double slash. In case developer also puts one more object here, still my XPath would work. So you can, just for safe side, you can put double slash everywhere. I can put double slash, no issue. Single slash is immediate, but double slash means either could be immediate or distant relative. Okay, so table has tbody, tr1, table data. Okay, now similar to this would be table data 2. Easy, once you find for one, so Dubai. So obviously this would be for table data 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can, if I want to click on this, I would go for 6. Okay, so to capture or click on this, we'll see click also. And similarly, if I want to capture this, what would be it? Simply table row 2. Okay, now it came second row, third row, fourth row. So if I want to select Shanghai, my XPath should have table row 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and table data 1, 2. So 4, 2, 4, and 2. Okay, so that would select. So you can generalize this one. If you want to use for loops, what I did was I generalized this, and I exactly know where to capture from, and started max is 10 rows. I assume there will 10 rows and 10 columns. So max, okay, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. So, okay, just in case I entered 10, 10 and just looped in over all rows and columns. So that's how I can print this. Okay, UAE, Saudi, and Taiwan, China. UAE, Saudi, Taiwan, China, till the details. Okay, so these are also captured. Okay, so now if I want to include these also, the table header th, I can also do the same thing. So all I have to do is th, no, not th here, but th there. It's actually on top of table row. So th for, no, not th4, right? Th. Let's see that again. TR has th. All right. So TR. TR. Then the other slash. TH. Okay. So there are 4 table header. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also header. This header is for all columns. This header is for all rows. So this rows header is Burj Khalifa. And you can see the footer is also header in this sense. Okay, so this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th header. So it's just a matter of terminology. So table header number 1. So this still has 1 of 4 matches. Okay, so if you get confused anytime, you can easily get this XPath if especially if it is involving the table. from this. You can copy the whole XPath from here and modify or customize. So let's customize this. Okay, so this would be table row, table header. Okay, so you can exclude this, start from here, and now you got one-of-one match. That would exactly give me this. So table row, table header will give me the clock tower. So actually I have to change the table row instead of table header. Okay, so let's also print table headers to the console. So what I do is I'll create table header table header 1 equals OP is my instance of operations. So this is a main class which has all reusable functions where I can click link or set text, right? So likewise I can get text. So I'm trying to get widget text. Okay, it takes $5 and now I can enter XPath. So I am basically including the missing header. Okay, so that would print header 1. Then after 1 to UAE, Dubai, UAE, Dubai, 890 Saudi Arabia. Okay, 829M. Okay, that's where I stopped here, right? So we can include all of those to 29M. So 1, 2, 3. Then this is. So I'd include table header 2. So that would simply be table row 2, isn't it? Okay, so just to cover all the other, I'll also include the table data 4, table data 5. Okay, so that would be this and this also. Okay, details we can just click on it. Okay, so I'll just first get data. Okay, so every table row has 6 table datas, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll print all of them and also table header. So table header 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's cover the missing portions. So table, I fix the row 1 and changing the data. Table data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so table header is printed, then followed by table data. Okay, so what I'll do is we will change the names of these. So I'll delete this. Okay, so this would repeat. Right? Table header 2 now. So table header 2 has same thing. So these we will call table data 6, 7. Okay, you wanna call 7 or you wanna call different? It doesn't matter. So this would be actually first row, first column. So if you wanna call 1, 1, 1, 2, that's up to you. Let's call this one, right? 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. So that I can call here 2, 1. 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6. So this will represent second row, first column, and so on and so forth. So all I need to change is table row 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. So that would cover the second row and third row. We can put these all things in a for loop. That's what we did later. Okay, so this is to individually. Third row. 2, 3. We didn't print the whole header, so that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. That's it. We'll stop at 4th row. Okay, so the reason I'm also including this is we will click on this later. So let it capture the text first, then we will interact with that. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So if you see the pattern, you can actually generalize this how they are moving. So that's exactly I did for loop. Okay, so this will capture. So it will capture all of them. And now I want to click on this. So okay, so we already know the XPath for this one. What would be the XPath for this one? So the XPath for this, let's say this guy. So this will select these details. Okay, let's double check now. Okay, so it is actually selecting this one of one mesh, so that I can interact with. Interact means I can get text or click on this. So let's try and see where it will take us if you click. Okay, it is not taking anywhere, it's just reloading the same page, right? So same page is reloaded, so just click on one just for the sake of trying it. So I just want to click on the last one because I thought it would take to the different page, but it is actually not. It is just for dummy functionality for clicking. It is just reloading the same page. See, it's not changing. So just to interact with this, what I'll do is I'll also click. Okay. Now I'll click separate normal way. Okay, so that you guys do not get confused with between linear approach and modularized. So how do I click now? Driver dot find element. Okay, so just to show you guys, there are find element and find elements, right? This is the one I was talking about, list of web elements. So like this, these are all list of web elements. Okay, in order to capture them all of them at once, I can use find elements. Now find element by dot XPath, and my XPath expression would be this. I just want to click on the last details link. Click. Okay, so that will also click and capture all these elements separately. 1 to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why I discovered everything. All these things. See, 1, 2, 4, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. 4 rows and 6 columns. Exactly, you can generalize this. So all I did was table data ij. So how did I get table data? op.getText and put them in a for loop. So this is the smartest way to interact with table. Get text, and I pass the whole XPath, you see, and exactly I changed ij here, trj. Okay, so we repeated everything here. Instead, I just put them in a for loops that would exactly run from 1 through 4 and 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So first for loop represent rows. How many rows? Row number 1 to 4. Okay, 1 increase every time by 1 until 4 less than or equal to 4. So first it will cover. First it will fix row number 1. Okay, I is equal to 1. Then come to j. J is a column. So this will run from j1, j plus plus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So fix one row. Now column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exactly it printed in the same fashion. First row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All I did is get text on that ij. So this is the generic, generalized way of coding, and I printed them with the space. So that's how you see the tab here. Okay, table data is printed with the space. If you print with comma, it will show comma, right? You can also print with comma and space. So this is how you deal with, multiple objects that are involved in the same same table, okay, and print them in a matrix fashion. So this you don't have to print them, just wanted to show you guys, but this is more important. How do we capture as far as automation is concerned? Okay, so what we will do right now is we will just execute them and move on to converting this to modularized approach. So we'll just basically convert them. Okay, let's close this previous guy. Let it open new page. Oh, I should have taken, okay, wait a second. I should have taken out this sleep. Where did I put the sleep? Yeah, here, right? So this was just to demonstrate you guys. So now we don't need this. We'll just take it out. Okay, so rerun. So now only the enhancement was I included the table header. It will also print it. So once you maximize the page, that means it's loaded. So you can be sure about that. So until it maximizes, it is still trying to load. Okay, now it is loaded. It's trying to interact. Neither. Okay. All right. So let's. Okay. Okay. What it is trying to do? Okay, it is trying to move on. So since I put a lot of sleeps, okay, it's waiting. Remaining, yeah, the remaining you can actually. Remaining you can actually remove the unnecessary wait timings. That is just for learning purpose. But actual runtime, if you are working on a project, you should not have the sleeps because it will drastically reduce the execution time, right? That's the whole point. To increase we are using automation for increasing the, I mean, for the speed execution. If you include a lot of sleeps, what it will do is it will take a lot of time. That means it's almost like testing manually, which is opposite of automation. So just for debugging, you can have sleeps, but I would recommend you to put implicit wait. Okay, so we will talk about the sleeps, waits, implicit and explicit wait after this execution. Then I will move on to modularization. Okay, so now what it is trying to do is it's trying to capture all the table data and printing. Once it is done, it will navigate. It will also click on details and then it will navigate. Let's see.
Yes, Sangam. Hello.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, say.
Yeah, Can you explain again the robotic one once you done
Sure,
with
sure.
this?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little confused with that one. So like you not doing any XPath in the, like XPath for your using file, right? You're just using the robotic action for.
So there are robot is used only when you want to interact with non-browser objects, such as the dialog box which opens right after clicking on that button. So when the dialog box open to browse the file, it is not related to XPath. Basically, it's a Windows object, not the browser object, not the Chrome browser object. So obviously, you cannot use XPath. Correct. XPath is only used when you interact with the browser elements. So altogether, you jump to the Windows element. Now, in order to interact with Windows element, there are multiple options, which is you can use Auto IT. You can download the Auto IT, which is also one popular way of doing it, or you can use wget, Windows Gate, and we can use runtime dot execute runtime. That is mostly used for scheduling. I won't recommend. So most easiest way is robot. Robot is just like roboting your activities on the keyboard. So for example, I want to just simply type whatever I see on the keyboard, any operation, any key. Okay. So once it opens a pop-up, what I want to do, its cursor is already in the console wherever I want to type, or I can also get the cursor just by pressing tab, which is also keyboard operation, and typing is also keyboard operation, and entering. Okay, after entering the whole path, I'll just enter so that it will upload the file, right? So that is also keyboard operation. Whatever involves a keyboard operation, robot is a perfect option. So hence I use robot. So what is robot? Robot is actually class. Everything is a class in Java, right? So the you don't have to go for any third party. So it's a part of Java JDK. Okay, so we just instantiate the robot class and call the methods in it. So robot class has multiple methods, some of which is key press and key release. So what is key press and key release? Manually what you do, you press the key and release the key. That's how you type it. Type means press and release at the same time. So exactly, I'm pressing and releasing, and it will take some the parameters. What are those? The key, actual virtual key. So the virtual key is defined VK, which stands for virtual key, VK underscore C, A, B, C, D, R to Z, and all those. Okay. And then if you want to type like special characters or capital letters, then what you have to do is shift. So shift, press the key, and then release key and release shift. So 4 operations. So I created a reusable function for which the same operation, and we'll, instead of repeating the robo actions, we'll just call the function, which is the easiest way. Okay, let's see what's going on. This is going on for a long time. Oh, I threw action actually, exception actually. So let's see. So whenever you see the exception, always you have to investigate. This is a part of the automation, so don't worry. Okay, so link text clicking. It clicked on it, it threw exception. What exception was it? Timeout receiving message. Okay, so this would normally occur when you do not wait for enough time. Okay, but we waited for enough time. Selenium tools. Okay, maybe this is temporary. All you have to do is just re-execute. Okay, so meanwhile, since we are here, I'll explain about the robot right here so that you can ask questions. Okay, so here you see, right? Upload, whatever, browse file. This is major operation that I'm performing using robot. Otherwise, we don't need it. So I just want to enter the file path. Okay, so what I do is I have to call robot and call these methods. Okay, so what is did your question answered? Is your question answered, or you have more doubt?
And then one more thing, like if like same page you have to upload like at least 3 or 4 like filings for like same way. So what
that is that is actually drag and drop. not the multiple. So this will only upload one at a time, right?
Yeah,
So
but
the one you're talking about, drag and drop, that is different. So that we have to use actions. Okay, so we'll come to that. We have more
like,
more of the
because I know one
examples.
of the scenario. So once you submit that application, it asks at least 3 times. It's gonna be same application, and you have to choose the file again and have to attach the different file.
So you can give me that URL and we will automate that one. So do you have the URL?
No, I don't. That's like for in my workplace, so that's what I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah.
okay. We cannot read. Okay, so you're talking about multiple files, right? Drag and drop. So if I choose file, it will only ask me to enter one file. Or you can probably enter multiple like this. Probably you're saying it's not possible. One at a time is possible, like this, right? You cannot control and enter one at a time. Okay, so if you want to try with multiple files, this is the one you drag and drop. Okay, so what you do is go to that wherever your files are located, you drag them. So that would look like, okay, or let's go to picture. Okay, so for example, I want to upload these two files at the same time. So what I do is I go there and drag this and drop them onto this. Okay, two files. So this is multiple. See, so this way we can do with actions. So, okay, what is your question? Oh, your question was different, huh? Don't worry, we will interact with all this. So they are different. Your voice is breaking. I can't hear you. Can anybody hear him?
I think
No. Your voice is breaking, so probably you have a microphone issue. Okay, let's try and run this, and don't worry, you can ask the question again later. Are you able to see my screen, or something went disconnected or something? Everyone able to see my screen?
yeah, we can see it now.
Okay. Because if nobody says anything, I thought I was disconnected. Okay, so let's see this execution once, and we will go to the framework. Okay, so you execute the same thing on your machine. It will be faster probably on your, because I have only 2 GB RAM. It's not even 4 GB, so it's very slow. Yeah. Okay. Okay, just keep checking the console. Sometimes it just throws Excel. Okay, now it is working. Because of this loading, it timed out. So that's the main problem with this. Okay, now let's check again. Okay, still waited. Fine. Now it is moving. I deliberately put a lot of sleeps, so it will wait. That's fine. But if you see this for longer, okay, now it went to the table. Now it is actually capturing the data. Let's quickly check. Okay, now let's check again something. Okay, everything is going fine. So okay, so now once it's done, it will go back to the previous page by doing that. What is it? Code drive dot navigate dot back. That is like clicking on the back button. So still on the same page. Yeah, so no exception. I don't see red lines, so that's fine. Okay, so let's speak again. Okay, okay, navigating back. Okay, now I see the problem. The details was clicked and immediately it was navigated or something. Navigated back. It says navigated, but it didn't navigate yet. Okay, I see the problem. So I didn't wait for long. Where often. So this click and then it actually did not print, right? Oh, it actually printed navigating back. Yeah, this navigation did not occur, probably because of this. Okay, so let's comment this out. Exception in the main thread, so no such element. For what? Let's see. So mostly did not find this XPath first name. Okay, so the first name was not found because it was not navigated back. Okay, so let's retry this. So that is because it clicked on this and it waited for more time, then it couldn't navigate back. So it has to navigate back on time. Then it will go to the main page where all those first names and last names. So sometimes you also get this exception, no such element. Even though your XPath is right, it didn't, the page was not reloaded. So all you have to do is just wait for more time or enter more explicit or expected conditions, or implicit wait like explicit wait. Okay, now it is gotten back. Okay, so we'll try this one more time. And this is very common in real-time projects. You have to keep on doing this until that is successful. So there's no other way. So you have to have a lot of patience with automation. Okay, it loaded. So the first link actually again makes the whole page reloaded. I could have commented it out. That's okay. So that's the functionality of the first link, partial link text. Then it clicks on link test link. It will go to the web table page. So first link is not doing anything. It's just reloading. So again, it will wait until the whole page is reloaded, right? So okay, now it is going to click. Now it's reloaded the partial link. Now it is going to the table page. Okay, now it is capturing. So capturing takes little time because it involves interaction with all the cells within the table. So you can expect the execution time a little more. Okay, one more issue could be when execution is going on, you do not go to the other pages, because when it was trying to navigate back, right, you had to be on the same page. Probably that's why it was off. Okay, but that doesn't matter because the driver will take care of it. You don't have to be on the same page. But screenshot will be problem because whatever you see on the screen, that will be printed to the screenshot. If you use robot, like I said, so I can take screenshots using robot because there will be print screen on the keyboard, so that will take screenshot, but that is using robot. And other is using the driver instance. I can use the driver instance to take screenshot, which basically says even if you're on different page, it will take the screenshot of that page. You don't have to be on the same page. Okay, now it got back. So robot has its own disadvantages. Robot, for example, if something is interrupted, right, it doesn't care about it. It will just perform its operation, and finally you don't get the desired output. So you have to be a little bit careful about using robot. Okay, now it will continue with our regular. Okay, now here I can get the current date also. It's not current date, so let's enhance a little bit after this, and I'll show you without executing because execution takes a lot of time. You can try this on your own at your homes. So let's just enhance and leave. In the next class we will see more on framework level changes. Okay, so as you saw, the robot didn't do anything. It just typed whatever is present on the screen. It doesn't care. So all I have to make sure is that the dialog is present at the right time. So that was a challenge. Okay, so now it just interacts with all other elements. These are all regular type of elements, so no issue. Only if you encounter tables and upload browser, those are more challenging to automate. Okay, so that's, I guess, done. So let's look at the console. Still not done because the clicking button again reloads the page. That's how the functionality is defined. We can't do anything about it. Now finally it will capture the text of the text one, so that will be the end of it. Okay, file download occurred, so it just simply downloads. So file download is easy. It's just like clicking on a link. So no, only upload and the table or no selling. Okay, so finally it is done. So I will show you one more thing before moving to the framework. We have used 3 types of weights, right? One is static weight, which is thread.sleep. Where was it? I'll show you right here. Okay, so one is thread.sleep. Okay, so this is like asking, hey, wait for certain time. Okay, statically. I mean, you don't have to do anything, just wait for 1 second. Okay, you have to enter in milliseconds. So this will just dumbly wait for 1 second, no problem. But that is not a good way of coding. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to wait implicitly by saying that I am asking the driver to wait at max or at most 50 seconds, but if you got something you already whatever you're supposed to do, just don't wait for the rest of the time. For example, I want to wait until this get is launching and loading the whole page, and loading is finished in, let's say, 30 seconds. Now I don't want to waste the rest of the 20 seconds. So exactly this function will do the same thing. It won't waste the rest of the time. It will immediately jump to the next operation. So here also same thing. I am clicking on link text, link thing, right? Now the new page is loaded. So I am waiting for 10 seconds because I am expecting little fastness over there. So always mention the max timeout. Okay, it doesn't matter. You can mention 40 seconds here, but this will still be taken care of. It won't wait for it won't waste the time. Okay, so that is implicit wait. Now in some cases I want to wait until some object comes into picture. Okay, so for example, in the same demo site, okay, it is loading after navigating back. Right now I want to make sure this image is loaded completely. That's how I know the whole page is loaded. So it is like expected condition, or it is also known as explicit wait. That means that I want to wait until some object comes into existence, or until some text is displayed. In some cases, some projects have dynamic text displayed when you go to some page. I just want to make sure the text is displayed, then move on. Okay, so we have classes called WebDriver wait, okay, one, and expected conditions, until, wait until expected conditions. Okay, we will see both of these now. Okay, I think I already put them in the notes for the last class, so let's go for
Sangam, one more thing.
yeah, go.
So like some of the application, they have like pop-up messages coming, so they have, how are you going to deal with that one for?
No, say that again. I didn't catch
like
you.
If you go Indeed, like if you run that application a couple of times, it will show some pop-up message, like they have some ad in there, so you have to deal with also that one. So you're gonna set up any recovery scenario for that one, or?
So recovery scenario in the sense conditions, like I said, probably you can put expected conditions. That the one I am going to explain. Okay, so in QTP we have recovery scenarios. That is different story. Like if something goes wrong, what is the plan B? Okay. What to do? Okay, that is a recovery scenario. In Selenium we don't have exactly recovery scenario built in, but we can programmatically achieve the same thing. So like using try catch exception handling. You try something, if something goes wrong, what to do in the catch? Exactly I did in operations levels also, or you can do it on the test case level. So we will also use the same thing, or you can also mention simply if and else condition. If something is something happens, do something, or something else happens, do that thing. So likewise, so that thing I took care of here. Okay, so try this, and something is wrong, do this. Okay, this is like recovery scenario only. So this is like plan A. Okay, works out fine, try and get out. Doesn't work out, plan B, just log this and do this thing also, widget not found. I am also doing something. Okay, or you can also repeat something you put by putting the timer, okay, the counter. So do this until it is successful. Like, okay, first time it is not successful. Okay, now wait for some time, repeat the action again until that. So you can put kind of a timer or counter. Okay, so that is another kind of recovery. So we will, as we go, based on the examples we encounter, like different sites, I will show you if this particular situation arises. Okay, now this is called synchronization. Okay, what is the synchronization? Conceptually, it is to wait for application to respond in sync with automation code. Okay, so sometimes automation code is faster and application is slower. Okay, then if that is the case, it will not wait. So all you have to do is just sync both of these. So that is the concept of synchronization. So we have different static waits, just wait for specified time. Okay, how did we do this? Using the thread.co, already mentioned it here. Okay, red dot sleep will just wait for 5 seconds, static. It will statically wait until the time period is reached. Other is implicit wait. What is the implicit wait? Waiting for application to respond for the max time specified, but it will not wait for the rest of time, but it will not waste the rest of the time. So that means it's more execution friendly. Okay, so it is kind of usable, okay, compared to the static wait. Okay, what is dynamic wait then? I am specifically targeting an object that will come into existence. Until that point of time you wait. That's what I'm asking the driver, WebDriver. Okay, so this is more specific than the implicit wait. Okay, if only requirement is such, you can use, otherwise you can use implicit wait. So static wait is bad, implicit wait is okay, dynamic wait is good, so you can categorize it. Okay, so implicit wait you already know how to use it. Driver.manage.timeouts dot implicitly wait, mention the max timeout. Max means you can mention even 120 seconds, doesn't matter, but it will only wait for whatever time it is supposed to wait for. Okay, so that is implicit wait. And what is the dynamic wait? Dynamic wait, like I said, I am specifically waiting until that some object comes into picture. Wait dynamically until some object comes into existence. Okay, so we have two classes, like I explained before, like I mentioned before, WebDriver wait. Okay, so instantiate this WebDriver wait, and this will take driver and max timeout. Okay, simple. WebDriver wait instance, new WebDriver wait, pass driver and max timeout. It could be anything, 60 seconds. This will take in seconds. Okay, don't worry. It will not take in, this will also take in seconds. So red dot sleep will take in milliseconds. So you have to multiply it by 1000 every time. Okay, now using this web wait, okay, there is a function called until. Okay, and then this will take again different option. Expected conditions is a different class, and this has a static function, visibility of element located. Okay, this has like 10-20 functions in it. Okay, or you can also check wait until some text is displayed. So I'll show you. And what visibility am I expecting? You have to enter the whole web element, that is the locator by .xpath and the whole XPath for this. So I want to wait until this first name text box is displayed. That's what I'm saying. So it will wait until that portion. Okay, so let's see the example in action here. I think I already added this. Yeah. So what I want to do is, this is why it was waiting. So I clicked on the button, last button, remember, in the same tools queue example, and it is reloading the same page. Now I want to wait until this image is coming into existence. Okay, now let me just maximize this so that you can see the whole code clearly. Okay, so this is not an implicit wait, this is explicit wait. So I am instantiating WebDriver wait, okay, which is part of Selenium. So just instantiate and pass the max timeout and driver. And using this wait instance, I access the until function, which takes parameter of expected conditions functions. So I also expected conditions mentioned. This is a static function, so no need to instantiate this. That means no need to mention new keyword. Okay, you can mention, but you don't have to. You can actually access statically. Oh, you cannot actually. So you have to access statically. So we already discussed about the static and non-static, remember, in Java. So same way, I am accessing it statically. This has one of the functions as visibility of element located. That means until this is visible, wait. So all I have to pass is its XPath. So this is the XPath for the whole image. Use the tools qe.jpg. So I am waiting for until this is. So I already found the XPath, so it will work. That's how it worked actually. Okay, now let's see other options for the wait. Is dynamic wait dot until. Okay, so you see the parameter, right? What it is taking. I'll show you quickly. Well, actually, see function. The whole parameter is the function itself. It is taking the function. Okay, and this function again in turn take WebDriver.p, which is a locator. So now expected conditions is a class, okay, which is part of support Selenium support.ui. But it has many functions inside it. Now until what you want to wait, until I want to wait element to be clickable. Sometimes the element object is displayed but it is not clickable, so I want to wait until that portion, or element to be selectable. Everything takes by locator, so all I have to pass is by.xpath. That's it. So invisibility of element sometimes, or yeah, this is the one of the most used one, text to be present in element. So I am expecting some text to be present in the element, so this will take web element and string text and boolean, true or false. So until some text matches, or until URL contains font, so visibility of elements. So this is what I use, visibility of element. Elements located is plural, so I use will be visibility of element located. This is the one I use. This will simply take locator. By locator is just like web element, so all you have to use is by.xpath. So we can also use text to be present. So let's use the presence of nested elements is also text to be present in element. Okay, so these are the two most widely used options in expected conditions. So you just pass web element here. So how do you get a web element? Driver dot find element. Find element. You can mention this separately and store it in web element, and you can just pass it web element. So that is up to you. By dot xpath, and you pass the xpath expression here. Okay, and text what you are expecting, the text you enter, expected text, whichever it is. This is up to you. So this is wait until that expected text is displayed. Okay, so just remember, so this is expecting by locator. Okay, so just to make you guys aware of this whole thing returns web element. Okay, now this only is called by locator, by.xpath. This is the locator, xpath is a locator, this is the by locator. This whole thing is returning web element, so you have to pass appropriate whatever it is asking. So this is asking web element, right? The argument is web element, so I am passing web element, and this function is asking me to enter by locator. Okay, it depends, however it is defined, I have to enter the appropriate argument type, otherwise it will throw mismatch error. So this is expecting you to enter by locator. So I did not put whole driver.find element by, instead I'll just put this portion, that is a by locator, right? So just look at the function signature and you'll understand. This is returning web element and this is taking by locator. That's all you need to know. What it is accepting as input, what is returning as output. So if you look at this, you'll easily know. Okay, so this is how you know explicit wait. So that is a difference between implicit wait and explicit wait, and that's when and where and how you use. Okay, so this is already 1 o'clock. So what we will do is we'll stop here, and tomorrow we will convert the same test case, all right, to module-based approach. That means we will use, instead of this driver.find element and repeating, instead we will just call operations dot set text, click link and everything. So I'll just simply move this to appropriate location so that you would know. Okay, instead of renaming the classes, what I will do is in the test I will create a package, and packages are important because you can manage them easily. So by looking the package, you can know. Okay, so let's call this linear framework. These are the linear framework examples. That's what in real-time project you don't have to have this something like this. Okay, where did I create? I created in somewhere else. So I'm just moving it to test. Okay, it is actually making a. Oh no, this is not what I want. Okay, so I want this to be created in test. So let's see. So here, okay, whenever you're creating a sub package, just make sure you mention the dot here, right here. So linear. What I did before was I actually mentioned just linear framework here. So which was going to create in source folder. So that's not what I want. I want to create within the test folder. Okay, now it will create sub package test dot. Okay, now I'm just going to move this. So instead of just moving, the refactor move, which is a good idea. So this is the source and I want to move to this destination. And make sure you check this checkbox is automatically checked by default. So just don't uncheck it. Otherwise it won't update the references. If something else is using this, you will get errors if that is not checked. Now it will move without any issues. So okay, so now two tests are inside this linear framework. Now what I can do is I can also create another package. Now that let's call that modularized. You can call whatever you want to. Okay, so I'm just creating new, and I'll just copy this instead of moving. What I'll do is I'll copy this, and okay, do you want me to copy both? We will try both. That way you can get hands-on with as many examples as you can. Okay, so let me just quickly show you the Google Test modularized thing, and then we'll continue with the tools QA tomorrow. And we have a lot of others to cover too. Okay, so you see package declaration changed automatically to modularized framework. Okay, so I was saying we will use the operations which are infrastructure level function that I have created. For example, if I want to click link, or click checkbox, I don't have to write the whole thing. All I have to do is just call this function, right? Which would be more easier in real time. So I'll go to Selenium Google Test. All I have to do is instantiate first. All the instantiations must be on top of it, top of everything else. Operations. Let's call this OP, new operations. Okay, so now you have to import this operations class. Okay, it is a part of infrastructure. Infrastructure is a package. I just put them in the infrastructure so that it is appropriate. Okay, so just this has 5 or 6 lines. We will note them. Okay, the setup also I have created separately, but don't worry, we will go to that later. Driver.get, we will do it separately. Okay, maximize, we will do it separately. Now coming to type search. Okay, now OP dot. Now what I'm trying to do is send keys. That means filling the text box. I call it set text. Okay, so I have created multiple functions which I will delete because this will be confusing for you. Set text is fine. If you want to set text by ID, set text by title, you can just enter title, but it's not good way. good idea to keep multiple functions. So setText is sufficient. Now I am going to enter driver and XPath. Okay, so just remember that XPath, we can keep it in a page objects locator. That is next step. But we will just enter XPath right here. And test data. So the test data is search term. I mean, search term is declared separately on top of it, right? Now what I'll do is I'll delete this. Okay, so this will simply set text into this XPath and search term will be entered New York Times. Okay, now we have converted one. Now the next one is clicking link. So this is like clicking on button or link. So the appropriate action would be, appropriate function would be op dot click link. So all you have to do is type. That's it. Okay, so just go for the first one. I will remove this because it will be confusing. So this will take, I clearly wrote the description. This method will click on a button or link with a given XPath, and parameters it will take is driver and XPath. Okay, select this and pass the driver, which is already passed by default, no issue, and pass the XPath, which is this. Okay. So now XPath is passed. That's it. Nothing else to do. Now I will delete this unnecessary code. Okay, so this will look more simpler and readable and maintainable also. I just want to click link. I'll call click link and pass driver and other elements. Okay, so I'll remove this because it's cumbersome. And get title, let it be, and that's it. Simply saying we modularize two functions, set text. Okay, how to launch the browser and go to that URL. Also, I created different function which is called launch browser, so that we can call to launch browser. Okay, so I can I actually overloaded this one by mentioning string browser type and blah blah blah. So let's see, this will take care of this. Yeah, so this if Chrome, okay, this is actually a different approach. So let's use launch browser. All is also separate, and I had to change the wherever the driver is located. So now I want to launch browser Chrome. Okay, so this will simply take this and set the system property to this. Okay, so this is different. So I can pass the parameter to it. So I did a little modification. I created a constants class for paths and everything. Okay, in the data, and this has Chrome driver path. Okay, which is this. Instead of changing every time, I just created it once. Chrome driver path, automation projects drivers Chrome driver. So you can also change this one time here. So if your driver is in D drive, you can just mention the path here, so that you don't have to repeat the same thing. So now I can simply call constants dot Chrome driver path, which is static. So I can call by the name of the class. So let's go to this example. Okay, launch browser. Okay, I was in here, right? Launch browser Chrome. Okay, so I just will make it take the path string driver path. So instead of hard coding, what I'll do is I will make it accept my driver path. Okay. The property name is same, property value is whatever I want to pass, and installation driver and returning this driver. So this will be my driver. So let's go back to that. Okay, so remember that this is going to return the driver. Okay, so now I'm going to visit. Oh, I have to save all, otherwise it won't show that option. Updated code. Okay, so if you save all, it will rebuild because this is a reusable function. Now I click. Okay, now this is the one I was expecting, driver path. Okay, so driver path is where it is in constants dot Chrome driver path. Okay, so that would be easier. Now, since I'm returning the driver, right, WebDriver I'm returning, I have to store it in a WebDriver driver. So these two things are not required now. This actually replaces these two lines. This is a reusability. Okay, so did I instantiated? No, so I cannot mention directly WebDriver. So what I'll do is WebDriver driver is equal to OP. Okay, just make sure everything is fine. Or you can also instantiate it before here and just assign it null value and then driver is equal to null initially, so that I can keep all the instantiations on the top. Okay, that's a good idea too. So I'm going to instantiations. Okay, then assigning the driver value from my reusable function launch browser underscore Chrome, which will take Chrome path from constants and return. So rest everything is same. This driver will be used throughout, right? Okay, so similarly we can call a reusable function for .get. So let's see if it is also getting it. Okay, so this is not getting. So what I can do is I can also include driver.get, but I'm just thinking I can. So these are all for different browsers. So right now we are going to concentrate on only a single browser. Driver.get. Okay, commented seems. Okay, so I can actually include driver.get in here, or I can make a different this thing for setup. So moving forward, we will use setup also, which is mostly appropriate way. So I create a test run setup, which will also get and maximize at the same time. So which is a part of prerequisite or setup launch browser. Oh, okay. So this is more appropriate, I guess. Yes. So here I am doing all at the same time. So we will use this launch browser, which is returning WebDriver statically, and which is taking browser type. Okay, all I have to do is just mention one more parameter, which is a Chrome driver path, because this is hard coded. And based on the type, if I mention Chrome browser type, it will set property for Chrome and create an instance of new Chrome driver, and also get me the URL and maximize the window. So this is like 3 actions in one go. So let's use this, but let's make a reusable function for this one. All right, separately. So what I'm going to do is comma. Okay, so if you want to keep this as is, but I can overload this just in case if something else is using, I don't want to interrupt that one. So let's overload this. So this is how I overload. Launch browser is fine. all I'm mentioning is one more string driver path. Okay, so let's call this, instead of launch browser, let's call this launch setup dot launch. Okay, so since I am going to parameterize the driver path, I have to replace the hard-coded values with parameter, right? Same way. Now, wherever in the constants, I can mention the actual driver path for different drivers, Chrome driver and Firefox driver. I can pass it from there. Microsoft Web driver. And IE driver. IE driver is mostly deprecated, so I don't need this right now. And Opera is also not required, but just in case. You can also mention iPhone driver and all those things. And if I don't mention the type of browser, it will go to default and it will print this. The mentioned browser type is not defined, so that you have to mention it correctly. Okay. Now this is the most appropriate one. So I'll call this instead of that. So this is in setup. So we'll remember that. Go to the, and going forward we'll use this one. So I'm going to change immediately. So okay, op dot, it's not op, it's coming for setup, and setup is a static. So I'll remove it. Okay, I'll also keep this just in case you want to refer. So assign setup dot launch. Okay, so this is the one I just defined. Now this is taking URL. What is the URL? URL is this one. So what I'll do is I'll remove this and this because it's already taken care of in try, right? So URL we will mention separately, and I'll take this and go top. Always mention instantiations on the top, then variable declarations as second. Good standard. All instantiations go on the top and then variable declarations. Okay, so next one is URL. Okay, that's my URL. So I am passing the URL. And what browser I want? String browser is equal to, let's use Chrome. So I'm declaring and assigning the Chrome browser, and driver path, you know where it is coming from, constants dot Chrome driver path. Okay, so this will take care of all these things. Launch the browser, open the URL, and maximize. So I just commented them all out here. Okay, so since this might throw error, so the good idea is to put them inside the try block. Okay, the error is semicolon is not mentioned. Okay, so this looks like more comprehensive way of modularizing. So let's quickly run this, and it won't take a minute, more than a minute. So let's try and run and continue the next approach. So we will also see how to convert this into JUnit and TestNG, and later, lastly, I will also show you how to convert it to Maven. Okay, so all these things. Okay, let's run this modularized framework test case. Okay, so this test case, just to remind you, it simply goes to Google and types something and verifies whether the title of the page is as expected. Then close the browser. Okay, so that means our launch is working perfectly. It just open the browser, hit the URL, and expand, maximize, and it will capture the title. Simple. You can enhance it according to the scenarios you can come up with. Okay, that's it. So modularization works fine. So the main advantage of modularization is what? Okay, so just to remind you, the log also I change it, right? It includes the timestamp and whether the action is okay or not, and what action is performed, and what is entered as test data. So this looks more comprehensive. The time, date, today date, and time 12:20 EST, of course, and the action is okay, and I clicked on the link with what XPath, this XPath, and validation is pass. Okay, so this is more like a developer standard code. Okay, so we'll follow the same for the tools creators tomorrow, and continue with our more of module this framework level changes. So I have added a lot of infrastructure level functions and utilities, so I'll explain on the need to know basis. Okay, so whenever we need to know, I'll explain and we will share this. Okay guys, any questions? I'll end this session today right now here. Okay, I'll just mention these in today's notes, so don't worry. Okay, any questions? Okay, then I'll send the notes to you. I'm just mentioning the notes properly. Okay, so output is not this. This. Okay, so I'll send out the notes in a short while.
Eclipse